Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Franchise Interviews. For over 6 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship. Listen to interviews with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And now, welcome your host, Marty McDermott, and Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 7 years, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and we have a great show today. We're meeting with Leonard Fisher, the president and owner of Handel's Homemade Ice Cream and Yogurt. And since 1945, Handel's Homemade Ice Cream and Yogurt is made fresh every day on the premises. And we're going to talk to Leonard about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews. So stick around, because we got a great show.
Are you looking for a franchise that delivers? Businesses will always need shipping, and for more than 25 years, loyal customers have depended on Unishippers for reliable savings and exceptional customer service. Unishippers is focused on just one thing: helping small and medium-sized businesses save time and money on all their shipping needs. And as the largest reseller of complete shipping services in the country, we have the buying power to ensure that we succeed. The Unishippers franchise offers low startup costs, no equipment or real estate required because they're not retail, residual income, and a quality of life and work-life balance. For more information on becoming a Unishippers franchisee, go to www.unishippers.com and click Franchise Opportunities, or call Franchise Development at 801-708-5822. That's 801-708-5822.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 7 years now, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with Leonard Fisher, the president and owner of Handel's Homemade Ice Cream and Yogurt, and since 1945, Handel's Homemade Ice Cream and Yogurt is made fresh every day on the premises. Hey, Leonard, how you doing? Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Good, Marty. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I have to tell the story, Leonard. We were doing the show last week, and for the first time in 8 years, the power went out, and we didn't get to finish the show, but something great happened. Was you were so kind to send us samples of the ice cream, and I got to tell you what a big hit it was. I can't thank you enough. Now I get it. You know, after trying the ice cream, it is out of this world, isn't it?
Yes, thank you. It is great. The kids loved it. Your wife loved it.
Oh, my God. I mean, the flavors were just I mean, I have to tell you, it's kind of embarrassing. I started with I think it was the coconut almond fudge was one of the samples, and I ate the whole pint. My wife ate the whole pint of, I think she had the cheesecake with Oreo. And my son, who's only 6, I mean, we would never let him eat the whole pint, you know, but he was digging it. I should have taken a picture of his face because he was having the chocolate chunk, you know, and we were just trying all the samples. But, I mean, now I get it. I mean, you were telling me the story, you know, and the whole history of the company, and I said, wow, I get it. You know, you were in the right place at the right time. You know, maybe we could talk a little bit about the history of Handel's because, I mean, it's certainly an amazing history.
Oh, yeah, sure, the history. Well, Alice Handel started the company in 1945. Out of her husband's gas station. I guess she decided one day she wanted to make ice cream. She bought a 2.5 quart ice cream machine, and she picked some strawberries out of a garden, got some ice cream mix, and that was her first batch.
Right.
And it was a hit. So, of course, she went to larger ice cream machines, and one thing after another, and she became so famous in that area, so busy, she actually moved the location from a great corner to a one-way street behind the building because there was, I guess, more parking, and she was worried about the kids getting hit by cars. And it turned out to be a phenomenal success. Even the location, they say location.
Right.
You would never pick this location for the original location ever. It was great.
It's amazing. And people came from quite a distance too, I understand, to get to the location, Leonard.
Oh, sure. They came from all over. Far away as PA. Further out in Ohio. I mean, they came from 30, 40 miles away. Sunday was our busiest day. People came from all over on Sunday to enjoy the ice cream, hang out with neighbors or friends they haven't seen in a long time. They would sit on their pickup trucks, in their car, on the ground. We didn't even have benches.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, what makes the ice cream truly special is, I mean, as you're eating it, I mean, you really feel like you're eating homemade, fresh ice cream. And I've only had that, happen to me in several instances in my life, but that was the whole appeal of it, is that you're eating homemade ice cream, isn't it?
Well, sure. The whole thing feels also, besides being homemade, made fresh every day, and using the best ingredients money can buy, we never take the ice cream and freeze it to 10 or 15 below zero and store it. We make it every single day.
Right.
So what separates us from everybody else, besides the quality, it's the texture. Even the ice cream that you received at home, I should have told you, leave it out for 5 minutes if you could wait that long.
We did. We actually did leave it out, and it was amazing.
And then the texture becomes just like it's buying it fresh at the store. And that's the difference between our ice cream and we'll call it supermarket ice cream or maybe other premiums out there. It's totally different because of the process and how we make it and how we store it. We don't make it on Monday for Friday. We make it on Monday for Monday and maybe Tuesday. So that differentiates us between everyone else. And again, homemade, fresh, every day. You can't beat it.
You really can't. No, I mean there certainly is a difference. Maybe you could talk a little bit, about the products you sell at Handel's, Leonard, because it's a pretty, diverse group of products, isn't it?
Oh yeah, instead of we besides selling ice cream cones, we have a Handel pop that I developed. I think it was in 1987. We just took a scoop of ice cream and dipped it in some chocolate that we get from Belgium, which is it's phenomenal. We make hurricanes, which is you take your ice cream, you put the ingredients, put it on a special machine. It comes out thick like cement. You can't even turn it upside down. We make the ices, the sherbets, the banana splits, the sorbets, smoothies. We make everything that has to do with ice cream and desserts. We do not sell any food products. Never have, never will. So I think again, all we do is ice cream, and we do it very, very well.
Yeah, and it's great when you go on the website and you can actually, see all those different products as well, because then we got curious after we ate it, we're going to the website, and it was kind of torture, as we were going through the whole thing, but I mean, it really is fantastic. And it's interesting because one of the questions I always ask, I guess like yourself, is I'll say, okay, well, you're the CEO. I mean, what's your favorite product? I mean, are you able to answer that question? I think.
Sure. I mean, the funny thing is, of course, my favorite product is our ice cream, but my favorite flavor, because I love dark chocolate, is the Chocoholic Chunk.
It is the Chocoholic Chunk.
Chocoholic Chunk, but in season, did we send you some of the peach?
Yes, we did. In fact, my in-laws tried the peach as well, and they loved the peach. They said it was out of this world. Well,
and the peaches are my favorite for seasonal because we get the peaches locally. Like I said, we have to cut them, sugar them, soak them. There's no artificial flavors in that. It's all peaches. Which a lot of people, and peach, they expect these big chunks of peaches. Well, when we have these whole peaches, when you put them in the machine, they get ground up, and that you don't see them identifiable, but the taste is there. Alice Handel taught me this. If you taste an ice cream and the flavor hits you right away, it's artificial. You have to take it, let it come to you slowly. If it comes to you slowly, then you know it's real.
She must have been an amazing person. I mean, what was she like as a person?
She was great. She was 4'11" nothing.
Really?
I don't think she weighed 80 pounds or 90 pounds, maybe.
That's amazing.
And the funny thing is, I worked with her for a while, maybe a few months, and all I would see her eat is vanilla ice cream cones. I never saw her eat food. I swear, I never saw her eat food. And
isn't that great?
Here's this woman about 90 pounds picking up these ice cream tubs after she made the ice cream, and the ice cream tubs weighed approximately 30 pounds. Right?
That's fantastic.
I went one day to pick up that tub. She said, "If you touch my tub again, I'm not working here anymore." I mean, that's how great she was. She was a phenomenal woman. We had a great time. We worked together for about 2 years after I bought the place, and then she passed away on Mother's Day, 1987.
Yeah.
But she was wonderful. She was quiet. She was wonderful, and she worked from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week from the week after Easter until October.
That's incredible. I'm sure she'd be pleased today, too, to see how far, the company's come. I mean, Handel's been in business now for 70 years. I mean,
almost 70 years, yeah.
70 years. How have you stayed competitive, over all that time, Leonard?
The funny thing is, you talk about competitiveness. We have, like the yogurt phase. They come and they go. You have different people making all these kind of crazy ice creams, like violet tea ice cream, or they're making poppy ice cream or something. The reason we stay competitive is that we stick with what we know and we're consistent. We might come up with new flavors, but there'll be regular flavors like salted caramel everybody's eating now, or it could be another blueberry flavor. We don't go into those wild and crazy flavors. And to stay competitive, we keep on doing what we're doing, and we have people that come into our marketplace and try to compete with us. We've had 3 Cold Stone creameries. They're out of business. We've had Baskin-Robbins. They're no longer here. We had another local company try to compete with us. Everybody closes. It's just that they can't compete with us. We have not only quality, we have price. In this area, we charge $2.50 for an ice cream cone.
Wow.
If you go into a yogurt shop, you could walk out spending $5, $6 a person.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And you think you're getting something good. You're starting with vanilla yogurt, ending up with vanilla yogurt with chocolate chips, M&Ms, cotton candy, sprinkles, whipped cream, cherries, hot fudge, and you're walking out with 1,000 calories.
It's true. It does.
So to stay competitive, it's not so much to change everything we do, but I believe if you're consistent in what you do, thereby you're staying competitive.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Are the markets different, Leonard? I mean, throughout different parts of the country, I mean, are there certain flavors that are more popular in, the West Coast versus, the East Coast?
Oh, yeah, definitely. On the West Coast, for some reason, banana cream pie and Graham Central Station and mint chocolate chip, they can't keep it. It
really?
Just, and then over here in our area, our number one flavor is chocolate pecan.
That's amazing.
If you go to Pennsylvania, like we're around the York area, York and Berwyn, you can make anything with peanut butter and it will sell.
It's
fantastic. Crazy. And, as you move towards the east, the chocolate gets darker. The Midwest, the chocolate gets lighter. It's crazy how it is. Different regions of the country like different things. In California, we have, green tea ice cream.
Yeah.
Because, we have that type of, customer.
Exactly.
So sometimes you have to make certain things for the customers. And, again, I think I've told you before, our store in California, last year they broke $1 million in sales.
That's amazing. That's a number just it blew my mind.
It is, and actually they're going to do, I think, 12% or 13% higher this year.
That's incredible. I mean, it's one of the things. I mean, it's year round, isn't it? I mean, especially in winter months, I mean, which is really it's fantastic, and it's almost kind of unheard of sometimes in your business.
Oh, I mean, in the wintertime here, which the Midwest, we do get our snow.
Right.
We could do $35,000, $40,000 in the month of January. People stand in line. They go from cones to pints and quarts.
It really is. It's incredible. I mean, one of the things probably our listeners are wondering is they're saying, I mean, how do you compete against the big say with Baskin-Robbins? We've had them on our show, in the Cold Stone.
Well, Baskin-Robbins, that's a very good choice of an ice cream shop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but according to I think it's National News or Restaurant News magazine, the average Baskin-Robbins does $208,000 a year.
$208,000 a year.
$208,000 a year. California last month we did $125,000.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean,
our stores around. If we did company wide, we average about $500,000 a year, and the ones in California average $780,000 a year. So Baskin-Robbins is not a competitor for us. Like I said, there used to be 2 or 3 Baskin-Robbins in our area. There are none anymore.
That's amazing.
So as far as competing with, it's just like in Indianapolis, which is, I think, Culver's is based out of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
5 years running, we were rated as the number 1 ice cream in Fisher's and in Carmel.
That's incredible. Right. I mean, you guys had, and I was thinking of the last show, too. I mean, the accolades that Handel has received over the years. What was the one? I can't remember. It was like the best ice cream in the country.
National Geographic.
That's it, the National Geographic one, where they actually go around, they evaluate best hamburgers, best pizza,
everything.
Best ice cream. You guys were number 1, weren't you?
Right. I mean, it's actually the Traveler's Guide to the best of everything in the world.
I mean that must have blown your mind when you heard that.
We we couldn't believe it, because the other places they list are some places in Cuba, in Paris, so it's all over the world. And I mean, for Youngstown, Ohio, to be listed number 1. I mean, and it's unsolicited. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
It's totally unbelievable. You know, we've been in. Go ahead.
I was going to say, are you involved in the product innovation letter? I mean, do you get involved in that too? You know, I mean, do they ask you, say, okay, you know, you're the CEO, you know, try this or try that, you know?
Always.
You do.
I'm the only one that develops new products.
That's fantastic.
Only one. They come to me. I mean, I have a product now. I wish I could tell you about it, but when I get it, I'll send you some, and you're going to say, "Oh my God, I got to talk to him again."
You know, it's going to be a hit.
Oh, it's a novelty, and if I don't sell 1 million of them a year, I won't sell one. That's
incredible. That's a pretty strong. That's a bold statement.
And when it comes out, people are going to say, "Why didn't I think of that? It's so simple." But I've 3.5 years in development. And I finally met with a manufacturer today that could make the product for me, and it turns out he's in my own backyard.
That's incredible. Well, it's funny because I was telling my wife this story, you know, originally how, you know, you and I we really hit it off, you know, you're being from Brooklyn, you know,
right.
I'm from Brooklyn as well, you know, and I said, God, why wasn't I the one who
well, you could.
It, you know?
You could discover it in New Jersey.
It's true.
Or Eastern PA, you know, go to Eastern PA, you get Larry Holmes over there eating your ice cream.
That's true. It really is fantastic. Maybe we could talk about, you know, the franchisees. I mean, what kind of franchisees are you looking for? I mean, is there anything specific that you look for, like as far as traits and characteristics, and you know, maybe we can get into like multi-brands and things like that.
Well, what we're looking for now is we're looking for twofold. One, we like the individual franchisee, family-type person who has the money and the fortitude to work, you know, your 7 days a week at this point, then cut back later on. Enough money that if they go into business, they don't have to worry about taking an income for a year, so they don't have to worry about earning their living to live on from that particular business.
Right.
We're looking for that type of person who's dedicated and loves the ice cream. They do not have to have restaurant experience. And on the flip side, we're looking to maybe partner up with a company, let's use as an example a donut company or a coffee company where we're in a strip plaza and we're next to them. They're busy certain times of the day and we're busy other times of the day because, again, you know, when you get back to Baskin-Robbins with Dunkin' Donuts, the sales that we have, they should be with us. You know, we bring so many people to a plaza, it's unbelievable. Like, we're opening up in Vegas this year. We're opening up another location in Pennsylvania this year. And, you know, like I said, our busiest night we ever had, when we had the one location, we had 1,500 customers in 3 hours.
It's incredible.
Which is unbelievable. So the people we're looking for, again, we're looking for someone who might have 20 Pizza Huts in their portfolio and 10 Burger Kings and everything, but they do not have ice cream. They don't have a dessert, and they're going to look for someone like us who's been around for 70 years, extremely profitable, debt-free, and now we're ready to grow again.
And you've had celebrities over the years, too, you know, numerous celebrities actually, you know, like your product as well. You know, I remember, you know, telling the story of that, and I think that's another strong testimonial, too.
Well, the ones I could think of off the top of my head, we had Tom Cruise in 1987, which is a while ago.
Wow.
Then he married Katie Holmes, who was from Toledo.
Right.
And she would visit our store in Toledo, and then they took ice cream on their jet when, you know, they would go back to Toledo to see the family.
Great.
We've had, let's see, Pat Benatar is a good customer of ours.
Wow. Oh, that's fantastic.
Pat, we've had, Bill Cosby is a wonderful customer.
That's
still
incredible.
to this day. I've been dealing with Bill Cosby now for over 10 years.
That's amazing.
I'll be seeing him in, October when he's performing in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Really?
If he's performing in the area, he'll always send me some, you know, tickets and backstage passes, and we'll just sit down and talk for about a half hour, see how things are going, you know. So Mel Torme, when he was alive, Ed O'Neill. You familiar with Ed O'Neill?
I know the name, yeah.
Well, the actor, he's on that family thing now, whatever that show is. And he was on what was that show? Ed O'Neill. You know him if you see him.
Ed O'Neill, yeah. I guess if I've seen his face, I think I would know him.
What was the show? It was him, his wife, and a goofy son and a daughter back in the day.
Right. It sounds like I'm going to have to ask my father.
I can't. Yeah, you would know. You know, so, you know, we've always had celebrities. We've had Ted Kennedy when he was alive. Bill Cosby sent him ice cream.
Incredible.
Arnold Palmer. And the list goes on. The list goes on. I mean, you know, we have great products, and they keep on buying them.
And that's what it is, right? I mean, it's really, and you know, it's a learning lesson for me. You know, again, in doing the show, you know, I was very excited. You know, I'm always excited to do the shows, but today I was particularly more excited to talk about your product, I mean, because again, just getting to try it, I mean, you really get it, there's nothing like experiencing the product,
right.
And I could see why, this ice cream was voted the best ice cream in the world. I mean, it truly is,
Well, there was a reason why that we lost, phone connection that day. It was fate.
Yeah, I guess it was, right? God was
cream.
playing somewhere a hand in the whole thing,
Sure.
So it really was fantastic. I mean, and your background is really spectacular. I mean, when I was researching your background, I mean, you've owned and operated a series of business, Leonard. Lobby
right.
Lunch, multiple Yellow Submarine sub shops, Chumley's
right.
Restaurant, the jewelry business. I mean, you seem to do so many different things. I mean, what advice would you give to our listeners? The biggest question they have is, they don't know where to begin. It seems like so many of them want to buy a franchise, but they just don't know where to begin because there's just so many choices today. I think it's up to 3,000, 4,000
sure.
different systems. They don't even know where to begin, and I think some of them just give up because it's overwhelming. What would you say to them from all your entrepreneurial experience?
Well, the first thing I would say is, figure out what you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. Because if you get into a business that you love, you're not working anymore. You're having a good time. If you buy into something only because you think it's going to make you a lot of money, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
If you buy into something that you love, you will make a lot of money. I've always said that do what you love and the money will come. If you work at something you don't like, every day you get up to go to work, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
The next thing is if you get involved with a franchisor, check their background.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they've been in business a long time. Make sure that
right.
if they have company-owned stores, are they successful? Talk to the people that work for that franchisor. See if they enjoy working for that person. Have they been there a long time? I mean, our average employee here in my office is 32 years old. They've been with me 15 years.
Wow.
So that says something for the owner.
Of course.
Right. Talk to the other franchisees. Find out what's good and bad, and would they do it again? Have they done it again? Are they happy? There's so many different things you can ask, but just be diligent, in looking in the background of the person who's running the company. Is it something they started or is it something they stole? Did they copy somebody?
True.
And why did they copy somebody? Did they work for somebody and say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore? Or were they a franchisee of someone else and decided to say, you know what, I'm going to open up my own company. I don't care about the fact that I signed a contract because they'll do the same thing to you.
That's
so
true.
It's just a matter of, in the bottom line, it's the integrity of the person you're going to sign that contract with. Because at the end of the day, the contract is only a piece of paper to take you to court if you have to go.
Yeah, that's
well
well
said. If you're not happy with that person, do not sign it.
Yeah, I think that's well said. There's been a theme in our show, too, over the last 8 years, is emphasizing look towards the experience of, the founders of the company, like you were just mentioning. I mean, I do. I think that's so important. What is the training like? I mean, so when someone decides, they say, okay, I love this, you signed the franchise agreement. I mean, do they typically come out to your headquarters then? Is that how it works for training?
Yes, they come out to our location. We have one location that we use for training. They train for 3 weeks, 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Then after the training is completed, then we'll go out to their location. We'll set them up with their employees, train their employees, and stay there for as long as necessary till they feel comfortable. It's usually a week or 2 weeks, but if it takes a month, I don't really care. It's when they're comfortable to be on their own, that's when we leave. That's the most important thing, that you want to give the support to that franchisee, that he knows you're only a phone call away. If they need something, we had a situation where one franchisee, they knew somebody was stealing, but they couldn't figure it out. So I sent out my district manager. She stayed there for a week. She found out who was stealing, fired him, and all of a sudden their profits are up. Wow,
that's incredible.
We'll
story.
do anything we can to help the franchisee. We'll negotiate leases. I'm sorry?
Is it a great feeling for you? I mean, what's it still like today? I mean, opening up new franchisees, I mean, it must be still, I imagine, a great feeling for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
This one I can't wait to do this one in Vegas. The guy's local from here, then moved to Vegas, and he worked at the Wynn as I guess they call it a concierge, whatever it was.
Okay.
And he did very well, and everybody knows him. And they even want the ice cream in the hotels. So I'm excited about opening up in an area like that. People always say that, well, how do you know it's going to do well when you're a regional favorite? And I say, look, just like you tasted the ice cream, the one thing I know in the food business is that you open up a restaurant, I don't care what kind of food business, people will come for the opening. Everyone comes, they want to try out the new restaurant. If it's good, they come back. If it's not, they don't come back. I mean, when you had McDonald's, there was one.
That's right.
It all starts out as one. If you're good, like I said, in California, actually, his first year in business 4 years ago, he did $650,000. Now he's doing over $1 million. There's a reason for that.
That's incredible. Well, look at the story of even how the company began. You know what I mean? Defying all the laws of location. I don't know if I told you, I teach marketing, and I mean, it broke all the laws of location.
Yeah.
You know, going to show you that yes, if you have a great product, people will still find you, won't they?
Oh, build it and they will come. They just do. It's phenomenal. But of course, you want a great location.
Of course.
If you can get it, but sometimes you just can't find it.
Right. It should be interesting too with the hotel too, like to see, you know, and seeing, you know, how that works out. You know, and I'm sure that might even open up, you know, other opportunities for you as well.
We're not open yet, and there's that. They have that big festival down there, iHeart Radio 3-day festival.
Okay, sure, yeah.
They wanted him to provide ice cream, but we couldn't do it. We're not ready for that yet. But that's how quick it's going to go there. But we did sell ice cream at the 49ers' new stadium last weekend.
Did you really?
Yeah, and this is really funny. The owners of the 49ers are from Youngstown, the Bartolos. Okay. And we were sending ice cream out to the 49ers when they were in the quest for the Super Bowl.
Right.
We sent them ice cream every single week. And the players loved it. And then they came to town to practice because they were going to stay on the East Coast, and they came over to the location every day. Erin Andrews.
It's an addiction. It really is. It's an addictive
do you know
product.
You know who Erin Andrews is?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Well, she came over, and she talked about it. Then they did ESPN Sports.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing the players to talk about Handel's ice cream.
Wow.
We got 10 minutes of national advertising that we never paid a penny for.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So they wanted to have ice cream at the stadium, and, you know, I said, I don't know how we're going to do it because we're not set up for that.
Right.
So I had my California location pack half pints, right? 720 of them because that's what they wanted.
Right.
Then I had my son drive it from that location to the stadium in containers with dry ice.
That's amazing.
And they sold out.
That's incredible.
You know, so everybody wants a piece of us.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. I mean, again, it's addicting as well, too. You know, I mean, once you have it, you know, your body is going to crave it almost like coffee. You know, that's, you know, and that's what I meant was when I said I get it. You know, after trying the product. So what's in the future? I mean, if you can look, you know, 3 to 5 years down the road, I mean, you know, where do you see yourself, Leonard?
Well, what I'm looking at is twofold. I think between the next 3 to 5 years, we'll have 100 locations.
Wow.
Without a doubt.
That's amazing.
Without a doubt.
And that's pretty much in the United States. I guess you're going to stay in the
United
U.S.
States.
Or
I'm staying in the U.S. I don't know anything about going far and staying. There's enough places in the United States to grow before I decide to go out of the country.
That's
and also
true.
that novelty item that I'm telling you about, but once we have it packaged, I'll sell you some. I'm going to be selling that probably every major amusement park and stadium in the country.
That's amazing. I can't wait
and
to hear what that is.
I can guarantee you this. There is not one thing like it out there.
Really?
No.
That's incredible. Oh, well, that's the entrepreneur in you, too. You know, again,
well, that's the fun part.
Background. It's the fun part. For you, it seems to me like that's what you thrive on, you know, is that creativity, almost like an artist.
No, I love it. I love coming up with new flavors, new things, you know. But also, we didn't mention, we're also ingrained in the community. You know, we have a Akron Children's Hospital that we're devoted to raising funds for them. In the last 4 years, we've raised $175,000 for Akron Children's Hospital.
Wow, that's amazing. That's wonderful.
So we do that too. You know, we love it here. The people have been very good to us. We like to give back to the community.
Well, this has become my favorite story in 8 years. I have 400 shows. You know, I never thought I could top this one, but you topped it for me. So this has become my new favorite show. You know, and I want to thank you again for coming on the show, Leonard. I think it's fantastic. What's the best way for our listeners to get more information on Handel? Any websites that they should go to?
Yes, Handel, HANDELS, icecream.com. Handels Ice Cream.
Easy enough. That's fantastic. I want to thank you again, Leonard, for coming on the show. And I'd really like to invite you back, you know, next year as it sounds like you're working on some of these interesting things. It's you've been a wonderful guest.
But in the meantime, when I make that novelty, I'm going to send you some, and your kids are going to love it.
I would love that, and I can't thank you enough. It was such a nice surprise for my family. You made me a big hero with my in-laws as well, so thanks a lot.
I'm glad I could do that. Thanks, Marty.
Thanks a lot, Leonard. It was great to talk to you. Talk to you soon. Take care, and we'll be right back with more franchise interviews.
Franchisers, are you looking to reach aspiring entrepreneurs looking to buy a franchise? Are you looking to reach a highly educated audience on franchising? For over 6 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Our weekly franchise radio show where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys, and our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Need a business loan? Talk to Diamond Financial Services, the experts in franchise financing nationwide. Whether you're looking to start a franchise, acquire an existing franchise, or expand your territory through opening new locations, Diamond Financial stands by your side start to finish. From pre-qualification to packaging and presenting your application to securing a financial commitment and through the loan closing process, Diamond Financial is there. While you're waiting, thousands of others are making their financial dreams come true. Don't wait any longer. Pre-qualify now by completing a confidential, no-obligation financial analysis. Let's face it, traditional banks just aren't in the business of financing small business. At Diamond Financial, we specialize in securing franchise loans from $100,000 to $3 million and equipment leasing up to $150,000. Let us help you get started. Go to www.franchisefunding.net or call 877-508-2274. That's franchisefunding.net, 877-508-2274.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, which podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, we've been hosting franchise interviews now over 6 years and over 300 shows, and during that time we've had some incredible quotes on the show. Today you're going to get to hear from Ellen Dunn, who is a franchisee to the Wild Birds Unlimited franchise system. And frequently on the show we'll ask our guests, why franchising? Why did you go into franchising? And I thought Ellen's answer was really unique out of all the guests we've had in 6 years. She spoke about the importance of having relationships, and she even thinks of the franchisor and her fellow franchisees as friends. So I thought that was very clever. She also took an assessment of what maybe her possible weaknesses were and her strengths, and she says that the franchise can help her with things like advertising or marketing, which wasn't really in her background. So we're going to play that clip for you right now and enjoy this edition of Great Quotes in Franchising from Franchise Interviews. Here we go.
I left and started my own business. I always had a corporation behind me, right. And I knew that I needed someone that could offer me all the things that I didn't get from the corporate world. And after interviewing several other franchisees, I knew that WBU was where I was going to get all the things as a small business owner that from the corporate world that I couldn't get on my own, such as the HR and the marketing.
Right. So you were sold, or you were convinced on franchising right away, Ellen. You kind of knew that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, but franchising was probably the best alternative for your situation.
Correct, because I didn't have all the expertise for mainly the marketing, the advertising.
Sure.
Because I always had a corporation behind me at my other jobs, so I didn't know how to go about doing all those things on my own. And a franchise is the best way to get those items.
That's fantastic.
Did you know the category? Really well.
Did you know the category was going to be retail, Ellen? I mean, there's 80 different industries. A Wild Birds Unlimited franchisee.
Well, that was one of the things I was nervous the most about going out on my own was missing relationship building because again, coming from very large corporations, I was worried about not having friends.
Sure.
I must say,
interesting.
I have tons of friends. All the different store owners, building the relationships with all the store owners here in New England and across the United States. I just have lots of relationships, and the relationships at the Franchise Support Center. I can pick up the phone at any time and call any number of people to talk to and bounce off, crazy ideas that I might be coming up with, and they'll either laugh with me or think that it's a great idea or tell me I'm out of my mind. And it's just been a wonderful support group. And there are people to talk to when you need those different supports, whether it's crisis management or whether it's just somebody to talk to. There's always somebody around that you can talk to or go out and spend an evening with. There's always somebody there to do that. And I really didn't think I was going to have that support group anymore.
It sounds like it's the culture, too, at Wild Birds Unlimited that you enjoy, too, Ellen. And listening to, I've never, in the 6 years of doing that show, I like how you mentioned, use the word friends, which I think is very powerful, the relationship with franchisees and also the relationship with the franchisor. I think that's very powerful what you said. So I think that's fantastic, and it sounds like, as you said, there's always someone to talk to, and you wouldn't get that if you did this on your own, would you? If you called it, Ellen's Birds Unlimited, I guess it would be a lot more lonely experience.
Right. Yeah, and they are my friends. I mean, Paul is right up there, and I'm just not saying that. Paul's up there, and I mean, any number of them. I mean, I look at them all as my friends, and whenever I think of coming to the end of this relationship at some point, to me it's going to be incredibly sad because they're all my friends, and I value all their friendship and I value their knowledge. They have great ideas. I don't always agree with their ideas, and I don't. And they always go along with that, and they accept when you don't agree with them. I don't know. They don't always like it, but and they always accept the criticism. And I think sometimes they let you go away on your own, and whether it works or whether it doesn't work, that's accepted, which is good to know.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next week with another edition of Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.